Igor Shestyorkin is the best goalie in the world and is on the verge of being the highest paid goalie ever. If I'm Chris Drury, I call his agent and say 11 times 8 and pray he says yes.
Cool always keeps it real. Steve Kuleas talking about the work of Igor Shestyorkin. There is no one on planet Earth that thinks that any other Ranger player was their best player during this spring run all the way to the Eastern Conference Final. Let's welcome in Steve Kuleas. We love your takes. We love the way you back them up. Passion behind that, 11 times 8. Will that be enough, do you think, to keep Shesty in New York?
It better be, because I think Igor Shestyorkin's going to make whatever Igor Shestyorkin wants to make. He's the best player on the team. He's the best goalie in the league. I might even play it that Igor, at 11, you know, we'll act like we offered 11 and a half, and you did the McDavid thing. Remember, McDavid was offered apparently 13.25, and he took a little discount, took his 12 and change, and we know where we are right now. I don't care who wins the Vezina. Even at the beginning of the year when he was slumping, look at his numbers. He should have came over from Russia earlier. He was the 13th goalie taken in the 2014 draft. The Rangers actually took another goalie that I don't remember, I've never heard of, from the Sioux in the second round. This is the thing about the Lundqvist and the Shestyorkins that the Rangers have been able to do. If he wants 12 or 12 and a half and is going to somehow hit free agency, Ryan Smith in Utah or somebody will give it to him. They got to get this done. And I know that they will. It's up to Igor for whatever he wants to make. He's that good. And I'm telling you right now, he might even have a bit more because of his position than the McDavid, Matthews, and Draisaitls of the world.
Cools, I got one for you since we're talking Rangers. If they get the goalie signed, what do they got to do with the rest of the lineup to help the goalie win a Stanley Cup?
Well, they only have about $10 million, Tony, to spend on 3 guys. And if they distribute that money, you know, to Lindgren, to Schneider, and if they want Capo Caco, they're done. Like, they're out. Everybody else is gonzo. Are they going to keep Hedl or not? The team won't be as good to start the year as they were. Obviously, a lot of teams would go for it at the end of the year. And then I start looking at the offer sheets, which, of course, is a 4-letter word for the GMs. You know, you got Lindgren there. Look what he did with Fox. He's a gamer. He's a warrior. He's a guy I'd be interested in. And when you have certain players that fall in the, you know, 4, 4.5, it's a first, a second, a third. I don't care about the second and the third. Is this guy worth the first-round pick? Yes. I think they're still going to be really good. Devils better if they get a Markstrom. Carolina's going to lose a lot. So the Rangers are still right there. 87.7. That's going to get tight, Tony, very quickly.
Steve, Leon Draisaitl, another strong season. He's having a good playoffs, too. You look what Austin Matthews did this last year. Not many guys can do what he's done. I believe Draisaitl's an unrestricted free agent after next year. I'm not too sure when Matthews is. Who do you take?
Listen, that's like picking between, of our generation, which of the Charlie's Angels that we like best, right, guys? I mean, you can't. And when Cheryl turned around in the bikini when she replaced, but anyway, that's another story. Bring it together, Cooley, bring it together. Listen, you have to admit right now, these are, you know, 2 Hall of Fame type players. Matthews is at 13.25 now. He's had a great 8-year run. But when you add Draisaitl's competitiveness, health, in the regular season and the playoffs and the playoff numbers, it's got to be Draisaitl. He's making 8.5. What is he going to get on the open market if he decides to leave Edmonton? And let's be honest, and this is a sensitive part, and I've said this with Ovi before, if Draisaitl was from Michigan or Manitoba, would we think or look at him differently? Sometimes we just do. You know, Forsberg took a while before we really loved him. Even Ovi in the same way. Draisaitl's first 2 years weren't as good as Matthews' first 2 years because they're just a couple of years apart. But honestly, not just because he might win the cup right now. Look at those. He's one of the best playoff performers ever. And Austin's numbers, they're not where they should be. And look at a guy like Zach Hyman. 5 years in Toronto, 1 goal each playoff year, 5. Look what he's got in 3 years in Edmonton. Another round, and he's got 28. That's McDavid, yes. It's also Draisaitl. He might score more than Reggie Leach and Yeri Curry. Come on, guys. That's up to the big boys.
That's amazing. Matthews, $13.2 million, his number for the next few years. Dazzling. Now, you already hit us with the Charlie's Angels. That was incredible. We have to hear the cliffhanger last week. The beer league game, how did it play out for you?
Well, I hope Steve and Tony are happy. First shift after 4 weeks on the DL. Assist. I set up my buddy John Beam.
Well
1-0. Yeah, but we played the Dukes of Hazzard. Bo, Boss Hog. I didn't see Daisy, but they beat us fair and square. But I did not get the win or the goal, which now leads me to say I'm going to make this prediction. I'm going to predict, maybe more so from the heart, I'm going to say the Oilers in 7. I think Florida might be slightly the favorite. Maybe it's a coin toss. McDavid and Hyman on a 2-on-1. And guess what? McDavid elects to shoot.
You're very good at this whole media thing. You dazzle us every week. Thanks, Cool.